Hello everybody, welcome back to Screamers. We are in the studio today with a lot to cover about the Lionesses and all their crazy drama. Shall we get into it?
Let's do it.
So guys, how's your weekend going? Jessie, what have you been up to?
I mean, I have absolutely nothing to add here. I've been on the sofa ill all weekend, so...
You poor thing.
We've been action-packed.
We have been action-packed. Maya and I went to a queer folk festival yesterday and she whipped out a violin, played some songs in the session.
I did.
And sang.
It was very
epic.
brave.
Very, very brave.
I think you should give us a little rendition now.
Jessie? Maybe one day.
And we all did something very exciting on Friday, which you'll find out about soon.
Big secret.
More to be revealed at some point.
Exciting secret.
But shall we actually talk about some football, I guess, while we're here? England...
Fine.
If we must. Spain took on England in one of football's ever recurring... It's like the international equivalent of Chelsea Man City, I think. England flew out to RCD Español Stadium to lose 2-1 to Spain on Tuesday. What do we think of the match, guys?
I don't think they flew out to lose.
Formalities.
They flew out to encounter Spain, and ended up losing. I was just cutting out the middle bit.
I think the first half looked a bit more promising than second half.
Yeah.
Obviously, Spain had loads of the ball and England didn't have a lot of control.
Yeah.
Spain taking a lot of shots and Russo's kind of solo goal was a bit against the play. But I thought we were holding on well and kind of managing the game.
I agree, and I also think when we go out to play Spain, we do kind of expect them to be in possession most of the time. That doesn't necessarily mean the game's going badly.
No, exactly.
I do think we do struggle to win the ball back though. I think
definitely.
You can go into a game with Spain knowing that you're not going to have a lot of it, but we really don't do very well at forcing like a turnover in possession.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I think I keep comparing it now to like the Arsenal-Barcelona game, mainly because
I
it's
was
like
doing that
mostly
too.
the same people.
Yeah.
And like in the same way that Arsenal didn't have as much of the possession, but there were chances there were moments where they were like forcing Barcelona into passes they maybe didn't want to play and like forcing a change in possession, which I don't think England were doing quite as well.
It definitely felt in that Arsenal game that we were kind of trying to be more front-footed, whereas in this game it felt like Spain were kind of all over us.
Yeah. I think with the Arsenal game, there was so much training that went into that, and the press was just so organised.
Yeah.
That obviously in an England camp it's a bit hard to do a similar kind of thing. And then the second half, guys, Georgia Stanway came off, which I think, was a massive hole in the second half.
I agree, yeah.
Well, I'm so proud of Missy Burkens getting her England debut. I mean, Serena threw her in at the bloody deep end. Like
to the Sharks.
Some people get a nice little run out against like Lithuania. You get to go on against Spain for your first ever senior game. But I was so proud of her for and I thought like she is no Georgia Stanway, but I thought she actually held her own for an England debut against Spain. I thought she held her own.
Yeah. Terrifying stuff.
Yeah, absolutely took out Patry. I was like, yes, getting well. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if like post Euros, if Missy Bo starts like being a bit more in the mix, because she's captain of the under-23s and has been for a while. So it would be nice to see her make that step up. Speaking of substitutes, there was another substitute who made all the difference. That, small issue of the Champions League Golden Boot winner, Claudia Pina, with just two absolute bangers.
Yeah.
Just unstoppable bangers.
She's kind of been in form all season, but she is looking really scary, isn't she, at the moment?
I genuinely don't know how you stop her.
Remember that goal she scored at Stamford Bridge in that second leg of the Champions League semi-final? She just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. Every one of her goals is sort of hit with her like, fuck it.
Yeah, exactly. and then it always converts.
You know, you sometimes see footballers, you're like, oh, there's no thoughts in that head. It's like that, but in like a really positive way. She's just like, on instinct.
She's just so brave, isn't she? She's she never feels like she needs to hold herself back. She just takes the opportunity that a lot of footballers wouldn't take. She just has no respect, and it's just scary.
Sees goal, shoots.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. The comms are saying that like it's a choice in the Spain squad between like Claudia Pina and Salma Paralluelo, and it's like they're two very different players.
Yeah,
they are.
I think they just have like an embarrassment of riches, don't they?
It's all the Barcelona friends and Olga. Although Olga Carmona is leaving Real Madrid, so it'd be interesting to see where she heads off to.
Yeah.
Maybe Mexico.
Oh, really?
No, I don't know. Just like the rest of them. You know, like
Yeah.
Jenny Hermoso went to Mexico, Lucia Garcia went to Mexico.
Yeah.
I think there's quite a strong appeal. I imagine they're offering decent contracts. Spanish speaking, nice weather,
Yeah.
good vibes.
What's not to love?
Could go worse, couldn't you?
Get me to the Liga MX.
You can go do a special tour and feedback.
I'm in. Guys, Screamers tour to Mexico.
I'm in as well.
Deep dive.
Yeah, we'll combine it with the trip to Miami we're going to do
Yes.
for the World Sevens.
That actually works perfectly.
Yeah. Just hit it all. And we can go, you know what, we can even whack in Canada and do the Northern Super League as well.
And we can also include the LA sports holiday that we were hoping to go on like 3 years ago.
Yep. Which is, you know, we wanted to see some WNBA. I don't know if you're keen for the basketball, Jessie,
I
but
could go to
We
some
just thought we
basketball.
could combine
Why not?
it.
What other sports can we tick off?
Ice hockey?
Yeah.
Canada. Baseball.
I watched some baseball yesterday while I was waiting for the Houston Dash Orlando Pride game to start.
Wow.
Then I went on a deep dive and found out that this is so off topic, but every single baseball field in America is a different shape because there are no regulations.
That's
bizarre.
like
football pitches.
I guess that is a
here.
bit like football pitches.
I mean, they're not a different shape, obviously, but different dimensions.
Yeah, but it's like it has to be within a certain range.
Yeah.
Baseball pitches can be
anything.
beyond that the little diamond, like the field itself. So there's one.
That's
there's
crazy.
one stadium. It's like 70 yards. You got to hit it 70 yards longer to get a home run. Which is
That's
insane.
I kind of love that. Also, guys, just on the WNBA, yesterday when I was waiting in the rain in Camden, I just looked in the window to get my bus. I looked in the window of a pub and they were playing the WNBA game.
Love that.
Isn't that amazing?
That's so cool.
I know.
Maybe the what's that? What's the bar that
The sports bra?
the sports bra? Maybe now Alexis Ohanian is investing in Chelsea. He'll bring
Oh, I would love that so
Sports-
much.
sports
That's the
bra.
other thing I want to go to on our America tour is the sports bra.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we can definitely achieve all of this.
Who wants to sponsor our trip?
Yeah.
Who wants to sponsor the trip?
Alexis, if you're listening,
Send us an email.
So that was the last match of the league phase of the Nations League, and it was sort of disappointment across the board for
It hasn't gone great.
for the home nations. So, what did you say, Anna? We didn't make it through.
I don't think so. The Nations League does perplex and baffle me. So I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that means we're not progressing. Obviously, Wales and Scotland didn't have the best time, although Scotland managed to nab a 1-1 draw against the Netherlands.
Which actually says very interesting things for our Euros group. Not to go into the Euros right now, but the fact that Scotland were absolutely thrashed by Germany.
That was pre-Mel Andreatta, though.
It was. But
I'm amazed the trauma hasn't lingered. Like a
so
defeat
true.
like that.
And to draw to a team like the Netherlands, I mean,
Yeah.
I think that is a very positive sign for Wales in our Euros group.
And guys,
Yeah.
sorry, back to Scotland. I'm just buzzing. Super goal on her second cap for Kath McGovern on her first call up.
Amazing.
Legend.
You need to get a Scotland shirt with a name on the back.
I think I would like to, but I'm not sure if I could pull that off. Might get a bit
I
of
think
stick.
you've spoken enough about loving Scotland and loving Kath McGovern that it's like you're fine.
Maybe I'll get a Hibs shirt.
You get a Scotland shirt, I'll get a Wales shirt. Let's just tell it like it is.
Yeah. I'll find some weird third tier.
You could get
Japanese
Northern
team to get one.
Ireland. You should
Yeah,
get
you should
Northern
get Northern
Ireland.
Ireland, then we'll have
That
all the
gorgeous
home
white
nations.
one, the white pinstripe. We like
Good.
that.
Whose name would I get on it though?
There's some Forest players. Maybe they're all left now, though.
I feel like it's not home nations, but I feel like I need to get Republic of Ireland and get Kieran. I need to get Leanne.
Yeah. There you go.
And carry a cuddly cow with me.
And the Euros England squad has also been announced this week.
Move over Nations League.
Yeah, it's time for the Euros now. Some surprises, obviously some shock exits.
Yeah.
It's been quite dramatic actually for the England camp, I think.
It's been a week.
It's not been an ideal lead up to the
Not
tournament.
at all.
In all Serena's interviews, though, she's been like, we're fine.
Yeah.
Everything is well and no one is falling apart. It's all okay.
There's
and
no
everyone's
implosion
happy.
here.
And I'm happy with my squad. It's a very good squad.
This is totally how I planned it. This is really A-okay.
This is what I wanted anyway.
Yeah.
It is a very good squad, though, to be fair. You know, obviously...
It is a very good squad, but I think we are, like, I would say, dancing on the edge of the cliff slightly with the fitness of some of the players that are going to be kind of the first choice now in their positions. Yeah. Like, for example, Alex Greenwood, Georgia Stanway, the midfield's quite thin. Like, Georgia Stanway didn't manage 90 minutes last week.
I'm less worried about Alex Greenwood because I feel like her and Hemp have had, like... It
feels
a
long
rehab, and they've been doing full training for a while. But yeah, if Stanway's legs go and Kira Walsh gets marked out of games, as we know can happen when teams double up on her, what we're going to do?
What's the plan?
Well, the other interesting thing injury-wise, obviously, is that Lauren James has been called up despite being out since April.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And Serena must have some faith that
her fitness is okay
and going to be fine by July. But yeah, it seems
risky.
A big risk, but potential big reward.
Potential big reward, and I feel like we've got enough forwards. Like you could configure the sort of formation a little bit to get some of those forwards playing a bit deeper. Because we seem to take in about 11 million defenders and 11 million forwards.
And barely any midfielders, yeah. Well, Serena was asked about that in her presser, and she said, well, we have a lot of flexibility amongst our like defenders and forwards. And it's a bit like, sure, but like...
she's going to put Leah Williams
Well, I mean, I think that's what she has done, hasn't she? And
throwing it back.
LJ in the midfield, and so I think, I don't know.
I mean, LJ in the midfield would make sense. Leah Williamson, we don't need to return to those days.
LJ,
no,
I'm
really
like,
don't.
You can play in the 10, you can play on the wing, you can play up top, you can play.
I wouldn't be surprised though if she put Leah Williamson in the midfield. She's done it before. She doesn't have many choices.
Maybe she's learnt though. Don't do it now.
She might be forced to.
I did think with the sort of the lightness in midfield anyway, and obviously we'll get onto it, but Fran Kirby's announcement, I did think there might be a late possibility of Missy Beaucairns making the squad. She's on standby if somebody does come through, but just simply because we don't really have much depth for midfield in terms of like out and out midfielders. We have forwards who can play there or defenders who can play there, but out and out midfielders we don't have a lot of depth.
I guess also like we have to remember we're talking about Serena, and some of these like retirements or people kind of pulling out and the injuries have forced her to be so much more experimental and kind of like brave than she usually is. So I think maybe the Missy Beaucairns thing is probably a step too far for her, and she would rather play players that have loads of experience out of position.
Yeah. It's like, I've done really well bringing in new people, guys. Don't make me do it for a
please,
tournament.
like, give me my flowers. You know, she has put Michelle Aguiman in the squad, who is, you know, super young, hasn't been on this stage before, really.
I think that's her following her own blueprint, though, with Alessia Russo from the last Euros.
Yeah.
It's the same young striker, first major tournament.
True.
Coming on as a finisher.
Yeah, could make an impact.
Seen the script before. If Michelle comes onto the pitch and starts reading people's notes over their shoulder.
Yeah.
No, we're in.
Even if she doesn't get to play, it'll just be such a good experience for her to be in a major tournament with the senior team.
Yeah, definitely.
Thinking of the future.
But yeah, proper progression planning.
World Cup, baby.
The other big news that we haven't like specifically named is Millie Bright pulling out of the squad ahead of the announcement.
So she wanted to give herself time to emotionally, mentally and physically recover after such a mad season. I think she just deserves a big shout out and praise for being so sensible.
I wonder if we're going to see more and more of that. Like, we've talked about how the schedule's getting so loaded as women's football grows and everyone's kind of trying to, I guess, like cash in.
Yeah.
And these players are, especially at the top clubs, are part of so many different competitions. They have so many media things they have to fulfill. Like, it is non-stop.
Yeah.
Like, are we just going to start seeing this more and more? Like, you think about players like Leah Galton, who's always opted out of international duty or like ever going to England camp because she wants to protect her mental health. Like, was she really onto something? Like, these players, their calendar is stacked, and the women's players don't get a summer off because they play in the Olympics as well. So it's kind of, I mean, obviously we didn't.
You just don't qualify and you'll get a break.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's what they're doing with the Nations League, you know?
4D chess.
They've caught on. But seriously, like, maybe it is something we're going to start seeing more, you know?
I wonder if she's also maybe been nursing a bit of an injury.
Yeah.
Chelsea didn't have like an injury crisis, but there were points where obviously their backline was
definitely on the edge, wasn't it?
Yeah, and so she's just had what has been quoted as minor knee surgery, which could mean any range of things, but just to have the summer and probably be able to recover and come back. It feels like a very smart choice. I mean, speaking of burnout, did you see that stat about Katie McCabe and how many minutes she's played?
I was going to put that on the notice board actually.
Oh, sorry.
But I did, yeah.
Spoiler. Do you want to do it now?
Well, I just saw that she has played the most number of minutes of any player in Europe for club and country at 4,300 minutes this season, which is an insane number.
Something has to change, but I don't really see what will.
No, and as we know, we're getting all these new competitions next year as well, like the Club World Cup and all that kind of stuff. So doesn't have any sort of signs of slowing down.
No.
Maybe there's going to be more pressure on managers as well, not to play these players
The
for
same starting
every
11.
single minute of the season.
Yeah.
Like, Millie Bright has played a huge amount, and Chelsea have a million options.
Yeah. I have found it really interesting the way people have been talking about Serena losing the dressing room, because it feels like the Mary Earps situation, Millie Bright and Fran Kirby are all very different things.
I think it's because it's all happening like so close to the squad announcement that it feels like, especially as because obviously there's so much sort of PR around it that they're never quite honest with everyone.
Yeah.
So it does feel like something may have happened.
Yeah.
Like if you start joining the dots yourself, just because it's all happened so close to the announcement.
I wonder if Fran Kirby looked at the big reaction to Mary's announcement, and so she sort of kind of was more open with her reasons about her retirement.
Yeah.
She had planned to retire anyway after the summer, but then Serena told her that she wasn't going to make the squad, and so was going to retire internationally then. And I thought it felt very this is what's happened. There's no room for anybody to sort of you can disagree with the decision about Fran being or not being in the squad, but there was no room to be like, I wonder what's gone on, what's happened.
Yeah, exactly. I think often being completely open about your reasons is very helpful. And what do you guys think about her not being in the squad?
I think in terms of having the experience, I mean, she started every single game in the last Euros.
Yeah.
And that experience in a team that is light on midfielders, it's not light on experience because a lot of those players have been in and around the squad for, a couple of major tournaments now, but it is light on midfielders and game changers necessarily. So I would have taken her.
I think I would have taken her too.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's really hard to know. Obviously, she hasn't had the steadiest form this season, and then historically she's just had like awful luck with injury and illness. But if she is in the right place, I think, her creativity and experience and game changing is just like so valuable.
I think it's completely different because they're completely different players, but it's a bit like the role that Jill Scott had at the last Euros.
Yeah.
Like she wasn't the best player that we took to the Euros, but she was super experienced and she could come on for those last really important minutes to see the game out. And I think, I don't know. I think the selection could have gone either way. But if Fran Kirby had have been picked, I would have really thought that was a good decision. I think.
Yeah, I think it's a similar thing with Nikita Paris.
Yeah,
I think that could have gone either way. And
I
think what she brings, she's not going to be your starter, but she can come on in the last sort of 10 minutes of a game and you need to see it out, and is very smart, knows how to slow things down, knows how to like buy a couple of fouls, just disrupt.
Won't be bullied.
Yeah. It's quite interesting. We had quite a fun question on Twitter, which was speaking of all the international retirements, which retired Lioness would you add to this squad?
You mean who've retired ever? Or
who've retired ever? Not of
Kelly Smith.
Yeah. Kelly Smith 10 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say pretty much the same thing, to be honest. Or like Rachel Yankee. I just think it'd be fun to put Rachel Yankee in the mix.
Absolutely. It's been a little while since our NWSL intro for dummies, and we're quite far into the season now. So
just
I think
to clarify, the dummies are us.
Yeah, we are. The dummies.
Yeah. We're the dummies, and we still probably are, to be honest. But we're
100%.
trying our best.
Yeah, we're dummies with effort.
Yeah, it's probably time to check in and see how it's going. There have been a few surprises. Obviously, the nature of the league is that it changes a lot season by season. We haven't been seeing the same dominance from Orlando Pride as last season, and Kansas City Current are
tearing it
sitting
up,
pretty at the top,
5 points ahead of second place, aren't they?
Yeah,
I'm really enjoying Kansas City Current because of the ability to kick the ball into the river at their stadium.
Oh,
Every
yeah,
time
that's
something
what
gets skied over the goal, it's like, oh, will it get? Oh, will it get? Which is a lot of fun.
Obviously, Temwa Chiminga is in brilliant form, scoring goals, level top goal scorer. And it's been also surprised that San Diego Wave are returning to their glory days and they're chasing down the top pack.
Led by an inspirational manager, I hear.
Manager of the month, Jonas Eidevall.
Oh, I wonder if there's any WSL teams that might look to pick him up. It is interesting how he seems to have really just taken to the league over there, doesn't he?
Yeah, I've seen comments from the fans and they're absolutely loving him. I mean, obviously, if your team is third in the NWSL and massively improving, you are going to love the manager, but it's just such a funny contrast.
Yeah, wait for the slide down the table to come, San Diego Wave fans, and then we'll talk. I always found that though with Jonas, I always found such a disconnect between. I really enjoy watching him as a pundit. Like when he was a pundit on the Women's World Cup, I thought he was so interesting to watch and listen to, and he had such good insight.
I thought he was one of the best pundits on the broadcast.
Yeah,
and then career change.
Yeah, because I was just like, why are you not enacting this within the team?
Yeah,
like you seem to completely understand how games work and what tactics work when, and yet you don't seem to be applying any of that to Arsenal.
Yeah. Where's the tactical insight? As soon as he steps through the doors at the Emirates, it's like, I forgot it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't watched much of the Wave, but I realised that why I was watching last night Orlando Pride versus Houston Dash, and I was like, oh, I understand why players that come, like American players that come from the NWSL and have come through the college system, do take a bit of time to adapt to WSL football, because it is so different. It is so like just end to end.
Yeah.
But it's just very direct football as well.
I think that's why we have like genuinely noticed that there are so many like quote unquote screamers scored in the NWSL, because the game is so open. It's not like build up play really at all. It's just like one person gets the ball at one end and runs it to the other end and just like rockets it into the goal. It's kind of like back and forth.
It is very pinball.
Yeah.
I would love to see like Barcelona play a team like that.
Yeah.
Just be like, what is happening?
What's going on?
It is really fun to watch, but you're right, it's a completely different style of play.
Also, the commentators kept calling it vertical passes forward, and I'm like,
vertical?
What does that mean?
What does that mean? It's literally just a through ball.
Brilliant.
Some of the language used in the USA is really crazy to me.
It's
so many English commentators on the NWSL games as well.
Yeah, I've noticed that, but not necessarily voices
that you recognise.
That I recognise. So I wonder if they've just sort of specialised over there.
Yeah. I also saw this week they've announced that they're now starting effective immediately like intra-club loans within the league, which they weren't doing before.
Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah, so that's going to kind of change it up a bit as well.
I guess now with the draft system, maybe that's not as much, but you know how players could just be like find out one day that they're being sent halfway across the country?
Yeah.
I wonder if there'll be a couple more instances of that, and like, or will you have will Seattle Reign refuse to loan any players to Portland Thorns and vice versa? Because
that's crazy.
I do think it's interesting though, because it seems like they're taking more and more from our model of football.
Yeah,
like it does seem like that. You know, the final thing will be if they kind of do end up aligning with our calendar, which I think at the moment is like the massive difference, isn't it? But this is again like, you know, they've stopped. Have they stopped the draft? Yeah. So now they've stopped the draft. They're now starting the loan system. Like it's slowly, incrementally becoming more like English football.
Yeah.
Also, it's quite interesting to see that Gotham are sitting in 10th when they've just won the Champions Cup.
Yeah, and also a few seasons ago, Gotham was known as this kind of team with all these absolute superstar players, and they were just so dominant. I mean, they won the league, what was it, 2 seasons ago? 2 or 3 seasons ago. And so, but I think that is like what's so different about the American League, and I wonder if it will change now that they've stopped the draft system. But that definitely did make it so that, you know, it almost turned on its head every year, or like at least, you know, there was a much bigger pool of teams that could win compared to here, where we don't kind of get almost flipped on our head every season.
Yeah, it is quite tight from 5th down to 11th. There's only 5 points in it.
Yeah,
so like it can still. There's a lot of movement that can happen.
Yeah,
very
because
exciting.
And if I remember it correctly, it's the top 8 teams, right, that go into playoffs.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just want a top 8 space, don't you?
Yeah. So currently in going through as it stands, was it Kansas City Current, Orlando Pride, San Diego Wave, Washington Spirit, Seattle Reign, Racing Louisville, Portland Thorns, and Bay FC.
Yep, who are equal on points with Angel City and just 1 goal difference. So it's very tight. I think the only teams that aren't in it at all seem to be Utah Royals and Chicago Stars, both on 5 points. Sorry, guys.
This is why you need relegation so they can put their ideas up.
And how's everyone doing on their fantasy NWSL? Have you been working on it? Have you been ignoring it?
I remember it every week after the deadline. So I think I've still got the same team that I had in like week 3.
Oh,
well,
no.
I don't remember it ever. And then last week you told me it was free transfers. So I've basically cleared out my team and I'm starting over again. Although as I think of it now, I didn't do anything this weekend. But I aim to. My girlfriend, who is not a fan at all, has basically realised that none of us have been taking it seriously. So she's been properly playing and she's been climbing the table secretly.
That is so funny.
And then she revealed it last week, and we were like, "What?" And then I checked, and she was boss on the table, and she's now ahead of me.
Oh my god, that is all right. We need to properly look her down and focus.
I'm feeling pretty comfortable though, guys.
Yeah, but you're always very good at all these fantasy games.
I'm
good at
really not. I think
remembering.
my thing was with the NWSL, I got really lucky the first week and I ended up at the top. And then I was like, well, I have to, maintain my position.
Well, I hope you don't have what I had in the Fantasy Premier League, where I was on
God.
top for the entire season until the last 2 weeks, and then it just went catastrophically wrong. Who knows? Maybe Suki will overtake you in the final day of the season.
Well, my comeback's incoming, so don't write me off.
Okay, all right. As long as you remember to do the transfers and hit save.
We'll be watching.
Shall we do a quick little check-in on the Woso Community Noticeboard, guys? Who's got something to add?
I mean, other than all the crazy news about players dropping like flies, which we've already covered, that's kind of taken up the whole women's football sphere. But I did think that part of the England announcement reaction was really cute. So obviously England did this like interesting video where lots of famous people told the squad that they were in the squad. David Beckham said, "Ella, you're in the squad," or whatever. And there was a really cute video of Toonie reacting to it, being like, "Oh my God, where's my phone? I got to tell my mum."
I love how she kept talking over it as well. She's like, "Oh, I missed it again," because she kept being like, "Oh my God, it's happening." She's so cute.
So cute.
There was a very fun mix of people in that video. Who knows? Maybe next major tournament,
It'll be us.
We'll be us. We'll get to
Can
be
you
involved.
imagine?
You're in the squad.
Go do it for England. Who would be your ideal player to announce?
Such a good question.
I thought you meant celeb to announce me.
Oh,
Let's
that
choose
one too.
both.
Yeah, do
Okay.
both.
I would like to announce for the World Cup,
Mm.
next World Cup, Lucy Bronze, because I'd be like, "Lucy, you're still going.
Take them
You're
knees
in
up,
the
girl.
squad."
I think I would like to announce either sweet Leslie Russo or sweet Lotta.
I thought you would
Miss
say
Arsenal.
Lotta.
I thought you'd say Lotta as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love them.
Lotta, get ready to sit on the bench.
That's so brutal, Anna. That's so brutal.
Okay, sorry. Who knows? Maybe by the World Cup she'll be.
You
starting for
actually don't
England.
know now that Millie's definitely not
Yeah,
playing.
you're so right.
She has moved one position up the pecking order.
They on the NWSL game last night, they were saying about Anna Morehouse. She's from England, and that starting jersey has become a lot more competitive for England now with Mary Epps's retirement. I was like, look,
It hasn't.
it's not really become.
It was
much
never
more
even going to be
competitive.
Mary.
Yeah,
Again, yeah, one step closer.
yeah.
But Lotta is one step closer.
Lotta is one step closer. I
mean, the thing is, if she had actually played this season,
Yeah.
like substantially, then actually maybe Millie pulling out would have had like an actual impact on her, whether she's going to get minutes. But because she has barely played,
because she's
think-
been injured.
Yeah.
Yeah, if this tournament was actually at the end of last season, where she had a really, really strong season
she'd
at
have a
Arsenal
shout.
with Williamson being out, she would have a shout.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Jessie?
it's nice she's been named anyway. Go on.
I think I would also, if Lotta, I would quite like to name Lotta because
Because you think she's going to come to Liverpool because you're Delulu.
no, I've let that dream go. Even though I think it would be a good move for her, I've let that dream go. No, but I just, centre backs are massive. And I like Lotta. Also, Alex Greenwood.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Love to do Alex Greenwood. And
So for you, just a centre back, basically.
just a defender or Missy Bow. because that would be quite fun. But okay, which celeb would you want to announce you?
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, I need to think about this for a sec. I obviously only have one choice, which would be Charlie XCX.
I knew you were going to say that.
And yeah, which is why it was so obvious. And she would be like, Honor, babe, you have fucking made it. You are in the England squad. You fucking go, girl. Let's do this.
I didn't realise we invited Charlie into the studio with us today.
Have you not seen her coffee cup? She's even got a brat coffee cup.
And my brat backpack, guys.
Isn't it
She's so brat coded.
Happy 365 days of brat today.
Yeah. Oh my God.
How are you feeling on her?
Yeah, I actually saw the billboard, the brat, like the forever billboard right around the corner from my house. It's not a coincidence. Feeling really good. So I'm actually seeing her next weekend at Lido Festival in Victoria Park. And then I'll be seeing her like a week later at Glastonbury. So
super fast.
It's a good month for me and Charlie.
What celeb would announce you, Maya? And you have to do an impression as well.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the impressions.
This might make me rethink who I was going to say, because I definitely can't do the accent.
Who are you going to say?
I was like, I think I'm just pulps on the brain at the minute, so I think it'd be quite fun to have Jarvis do an announcement. Or do you know John Cooper Clarke?
Oh my God! Doing a poem,
a slam poem.
Yeah, a Salford spoken word.
That would really suit you, actually.
I just think that'd be brilliant. But I absolutely am not doing an impression because I cannot do the accent.
Oh, no.
Guys, I don't know. I'm not that interested in celebrities.
Robbie Williams?
No.
Every member of 5 alternating words each
No.
time.
Oh my God, you're making me sound like such a loser.
Rachel Yankee?
God, I don't
Ian
know.
Wright.
I mean, yeah, obviously I'd be happy with any of the people.
Anita Santi.
I just don't feel like that connected to any celebrity. I'm sorry. I just don't. That's just
that's
not
not the game, mate.
Well, how about me and Jessie announce you?
Yeah, that would be nice. If Screamers Pod announced me, that would be the greatest honour of my life.
Fair.
Unless Beyonce's free, but you know.
Well, there we go,
Shoot for the
Beyonce.
stars.
Yeah, we can link up with Beyonce. Actually,
She's always in Tottenham. She's literally here every year.
Yeah, I'm sure we just gonna hang around outside the stadium. I'm glad we come a close second to Beyonce. That's where I feel we are in the world. I was going to add on to the notice board was Scotland might have like shed their footballing misfortunes, but I think it just transferred to their travel because they were racing back. It looked like they had a day out after the match against the Netherlands, and they were racing back to the airport in an Uber, in a taxi which just broke down on the side of the motorway. And Sandy McIver is just documenting the whole thing on TikTok, and it's literally just pulled over on the side of the motorway. They're all on like the grassy strip in between the lanes. And she was like, and now he's convinced the car will start, so he's just sort of gassing us as he tries to rev it. They were trying to call an Uber to the middle of the motorway.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
Couldn't get onto the middle of the motorway, so Sandy then manages to get onto a farm that's over the other side of the motorway. So they're trying to go, because she's obviously flying back to America. The others are only just coming back to the UK, but she's going back to America. So she tries to get over the motorway with her suitcases, does get over the motorway, but then realises there's a whole stream in between her and the farm, so then has to come back over. Then they get a tow truck, and then an Uber also arrives, because some Uber does come and pick them up from the middle of the motorway.
Madness.
Absolute chaos.
What are they like? Also, guys, it is like properly Euros warm up now, isn't it? Like we've got the last international camp out the way.
Yep.
It's coming. So we're going to be doing a couple of Euros previews. We've looked a bit at the England squad today, but we're going to do a bit more of a deep dive into our group and then kind of the rest.
The others. The competition.
The best and the rest.
So we've actually got a WAFCON preview for you next week, which will be happening around the same time as the Euros. And then the 2 weeks before the Euros, we are going to be doing some Euros previews. So it is the summer of football is starting, guys.
All football, all the time.
I think that's an excited sound from Honor, but it also sounded quite weary.
Yeah.
I am slightly football weary, but once the Euros kick off, I'm going to be absolutely buzzing.
Do you know when I was saying to you guys, like, just after the Champions League final, that I was like, the thing is now we've won the Champions League, I just don't really care about the Euros. I actually don't care. I care so much already.
Yeah, that's why none of us paid any lip service when you said it. You were like, oh, yeah, all right, fine. Yeah, I'll see how long we got
Champions
last.
League is a distant memory.
I was like, oh, I don't care about the Euros now. I could die happy. And now I'm like desperate to win the Euros.
I want that trophy.
I really, really want that trophy.
Yeah,
I really want us to win it. We booked the last of our hotels yesterday, so
I still need to do that.
forked out an arm and a leg for that one, but we're staying right by the Wankdorf for
Please,
the.
please,
Hey.
can we have it in a cheaper country? Switzerland is not the one for me.
No. I mean, it's
We're
going to be
gonna be
gorgeous, but yeah,
We'll be living on bread and Swiss cheese all week.
gluten-free bread.
God, how much is that going to cost in Switzerland?
Oh, God.
Bring your own. Just bring your own.
Yeah, I'll just pack my whole bag.
Honours packing essentials for Switzerland. 1 times England shirt, 6 loaves of bread.
Join us next week where we will be finding out all about the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. But until then,
Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, all of the socials at @screamers_pod, or you can email us if you wish at screamerspod@gmail.com.
And don't forget to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening to podcasts to make sure you are the first to know when a new episode drops.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
bye.